Aharen-san Season 2, 12 episodes, romance, comedy, and a manga adaptation. Now, sadly, I don't have a Season 1 review for this channel, but I'm going to make up for it by giving you an excellent Season 2 review. Now, if you like the comedy of Season 1, then yes, you're going to also like the comedy of Season 2. Now, is the comedy still the same? In some ways, yes, and some ways, no. Yes, you are going to still have Raido still having the overactive imagination and figuring out misunderstandings, stuff that Aharen-san did or said, and just blowing it up all out of proportions, and it still make up for good comedy. But there's also some satire, some video game satire, some satire from different types of cultures and everything, that it was still very funny. The best way I know that comedy is subjective, but it did manage to reach for at least for me, to reach the level where it caught me so off guard. Some of the some I'm not going to show it here on this channel, because I wanted, if you are going to watch this anime, explaining a joke is the worst thing that you can do. But let's just say that some of the misunderstandings, some of the animation changes, especially with Raido, when they do certain changes to his face, and the way the way he just instantly changes his mannerism, the way he speaks or acts, always caught me off guard and made me laugh so hard that I nearly fell off my chair. And that's the best way I can describe the comedy on this anime. Falling off your chair funny, but not necessarily, I'm struggling to breathe funny, not to that level, but still funny nonetheless. Now, some things did change compared to Season 1, and that is that there's a little bit of more uh, romance in this Season 2, because in Season 1 it was purely all comedy. Even though that in Season 1 it was also a romance comedy, there was pretty much zero romance. It was all comedy except for the last episode when suddenly Aharen-san confesses to Raido. Now that happened in Season 1, so it's not a spoiler. Now in Season 2, yes, they're dating and there are a lot of more cute moments together, especially with Raido saying to Aharen-san how cute she is, and so on and so on, and getting flustered, being a super cute couple. Now, everything didn't stay, even though the yes comedy, but not everything was all for laughs. There were some one or two serious moments thinking about their future, what they want to be after they graduate, and being one of them. But yes, and also not only with Aharen-san and Raido, yes, many characters were struggling to figure out exactly what is that they wanted to be in their future. Now, I think I think I said enough. Let me see. Okay, there's one thing. We have to spice. Oh, sorry, my eye. To spice up a little bit of the comedy, they did introduce a couple of new characters, some early on and some a little bit back into the 12th anime season, like they appear like in episode 7 or something. But yes, we got a little couple of new characters. Obviously, with new characters, we have a new dynamic and a little bit of extra spice to the comedy. And that's mostly what they have to offer. And also, something I want to say, we are having some. We obviously saw the little brother and the sister, that all of them look like Aharen-san, only different heights. barely, and you will think that we had a lot of scenes of them being in the house, and you're thinking, what about the father and mother? And seriously, the mother, because in this season we got the reveal of Aharen-san's parents. The mother got a couple of minutes where we got to we saw her. She talked to Raido, so we got a little bit of her personality and so on. So even though it was a couple of minutes, at least we got something. With the father was so glazed, so uh, barely 2 seconds. Seriously, he didn't have a speaking role or anything. He just appeared 2 seconds, wash away for a minute, and you miss it. And you have to pause it, and it's not even a close enough look to see his features, to see, oh, hadn't some inherit some one or two features from his father. No, it was completely look over. You only look at him a little far away, so you cannot even tell that. So it was a little sad but funny at the same time that the mother got a couple of minutes, but the father only got 2 seconds. Now, one last thing that I want to touch upon is with two characters, supporting characters, with the let me see the names, Hanako and Ishikawa. Yes, those are the names. I haven't read the manga. This being a manga adaptation, I haven't read the manga. And I know, being an anime, they're not going to adapt every single chapter or scenes and so on. But if you watch the 12 episodes and you watch the interaction between Hanako and Ishikawa, there's a tension between the two that happened during the season, and it did get resolved later on, but it's missing context. It feels like there was a proper setup to the whole dynamic that happened on this season, that maybe in one episode or a scene it got skipped over, because to me it felt a little bit that came out of nowhere. It didn't have a proper setup. So maybe in the manga, whether it be a chapter they skip or something, they were more of a better setup for the whole thing. But it well, I'm not so curious enough to go and read the manga. I have a lot of stuff to do. But I just to me just came out of nowhere. I'm just going to end that there. So I think I said all my piece when it comes to Aharen-san season 2. So I'm going to give the score of 6, a 6 out of 10. Now, I had a blast with this anime. I had very cute interaction. I did laugh a lot of the jokes, but and I personally, in my mind, I think this is a 7. But with comedy being subjective and all of that, and the number, I think that a 6, well, painful for me, it is a fair score to the general public that watch this anime. So I'm going to leave it here. So have a good day, have a good night, wherever you're from. See you next video.